Hi families. I just wanted to model for you how we're going to be doing our testing with IReady. So you'll enter into our reading Zoom, and what you're going to want to do is once you come in, you're going to see that I've already shared a screen with the steps to complete. My video will be off and my sound will be off. If you need me, I'm there. I just don't want my face and what's going on with me typing and checking assessments and that kind of thing to be distracting. So my video will be off, my sound will be off. What you're going to do is you're going to keep the video on, but mute yourself. So there should be no sound, but I should still be able to see your child physically taking the test. That's just the way the district has decided that e-learners are going to be taking specific assessments. So in class assessments, like my assessments that I give out for math and reading and those kinds of things, you'll just take them on your own and I don't have to observe on Zoom. But any assessment that is a district or state assessment, I have to observe, and they allow me to have up to 6 students at a time for this age level. So that's why we have groups of 5 or 6 during each testing session. Each testing session is about 45 minutes because I don't want your child to be sitting and staring at the computer for an extended period of time, because they won't be showing their best selves by the end of a long testing period. They're going to be done and need a brain break. So my hope is that if we do shorter testing periods each day, we'll finish all of our diagnostics by Friday and it'll be good data. So I use this diagnostic to structure how I'm going to teach and what I'm going to teach for the remainder of the year. So if a majority of the class already knows something, I'm going to stop harping on that and I'm going to move on. If a majority of the class still needs content, that's going to be my first stepping stone to get us where we need to go. While you are helping your child take the IReady assessment, it is totally okay for you to help with technology problems. So if they don't understand how to maneuver through the test, go for it, help them. Um, the IReady assessment will have somebody reading to them. It's more cartoony, so they won't have to sit and read anything on their own, and there won't be real directions to read. It'll all be read to them. But if it's a technological thing, like I don't know how to click my answer, or how do I get from here to the next question, that's all you go for it, you help. Because if I was physically there, that's what I would be doing, is I would be helping with all of those problems. If you notice that your child is just done staring off into space, and obviously I'm going to be watching too, so I may pop on and just let you know, hey, give your child a break. Maybe we should be done testing for today. So I'll be texting and sending messages on Remind if I see that someone's fading quickly and we need a brain break to help resuscitate them. Um, and the one thing I do ask of you, though, is don't help your child with content. So if they don't understand how to answer a question, like, do I click here? Do I click here? That's fine. But if they're saying, I don't understand what retelling means, I don't understand how to count to 5, I don't know what that number is. Those are content questions, and the best way to respond to them is to just say, That's okay. It's okay that you don't know that. Just try your best and then move on. Because the way IReady is structured is it's a scale type of assessment. So they're going to all start at one point. If they continually get questions wrong, then they're going to be dropped down on the scale. If they start off at this point and they continually get questions right, they're going to be bumped up. And that process is going to continue. So if they keep getting questions right at that level, they're bumping up. And it will just keep going until they get to the highest level that they are capable at. So once they get to a level and they're getting questions wrong, bump it down. They're getting questions right, bump it up. They're getting questions wrong. That's that sweet spot. So we're trying to find that sweet spot of where does their knowledge end. So if you're helping them with the content, I won't be able to see that sweet spot, and I will assume that they know what they've answered. So if you're giving them the answers, you're not actually helping your child, because I'm going to assume they know what they're showing on IReady, and I'm not going to teach them that content, or I'm not going to teach them that content to the extent that they actually need without your brain helping them. So helping them with content really won't help you in the long run, if that makes sense. Um, it's going to be a negative impact for your child's learning. So it may make that test look good, but in the big picture, that's not why we're taking this test. This test isn't a grade. This test is to see what they know and what they need to know. And you'll get the reports and you'll get to see all the information that I get to see from this assessment, which is huge for kindergarten, because in the other grades, they get to see assessments from the years prior. But with kindergarten, even if your child was in pre-K, assessments are limited to what the teacher in pre-K explains, or if your child was at home, then we're starting from scratch. So this is the true first assessment where I can see a lot of information from a week's time. So we are going to start off with the reading diagnostic. So when you get into IReady tomorrow, you're going to see that you still have the subject areas. So you'll click on reading, and then you'll start diagnostic after you come on Zoom. So you'll come on Zoom, I'll have my screen shared, and I'll have a list of things you need to double check. And then you're simply going to make sure you're muted, and then find the minimize button. So up at the top, there's that line next to where you can X out. It's going to be over here, I think, depending on how the video gets shared. But find the minimize button and then minimize it, because once you minimize it, you're going to see that the Zoom becomes this little box, and then your child has the whole screen available to them, but I can still see that your child is testing and see that it's your child and not, a sibling jumping on and deciding to take their IReady assessment. So I think those are all the reminders for tomorrow about IReady. So for the rest of the day, obviously you've seen the schedule. I'm going to be on IReady reading assessment for the whole day. Basically, I'm just going to be sitting on Zoom and proctoring tests. So for the rest of the day, you're going to notice that when you go into Canvas and you click on any subject, it brings you to our testing week module. And you'll see it's divided up into days. So tomorrow, Monday, you're going to have 1 page for reading, 1 page for math, 1 page for science, 1 page for writing. And that is the learning for that week. So what I'm doing for each subject is next week is going to be somewhat of a review week, because I want to make sure that some of the skills that we learned in the past week, they have time for more practice because they are important skills, especially for math. I don't want to move on until we have writing numbers and knowing how to count objects up to 5 and knowing greater than, less than, and equal to. I don't want to move on to Unit 3 until we know that. For reading, you're going to be practicing retelling a story. And then for science, we're going to be practicing making inferences because that was the big skill from last week. And then writing, it'll be tied to um, the text, and then there'll be some actual letter writing practice. So there's no new content. It's all going to be a review and extra practice for the skills that we were learning this past week. So you'll see it all, and it will be a very easy flow. So you'll just do what is expected for Monday, and then on Tuesday you'll do it for Tuesday. And there's no set time schedule, so whatever works for your child, do that. So if after your child has the IReady assessment, if they have the IReady assessment in the morning and they need a chunk of time to take a break, give them that break. If your child is testing in the afternoon, don't have them work on the Canvas stuff up until the test. Make sure they have a break before their testing window begins, because I don't want their brain to be exhausted before they even get started. So throughout the day, you're going to be working on those assignments that I've posted. Make sure that you're in the reading Zoom. So it's reading Zoom. Even on the days you're doing the math diagnostic, it's reading Zoom. And I'm not going to tell you a day that we're stopping the reading diagnostic and starting math, because it's going to be different for each child. So whenever the reading diagnostic is done, the next testing session will be when your child starts the math diagnostic. So it could be different for each child, depending on how long their diagnostic takes them, because I can't tell you how long it's going to take. It just depends on the way your child takes the test. There's no set time and there's no number of questions. It just depends on how many they get wrong, how many they get right. It's that ladder. If you have any questions or concerns throughout the day, I will be at my laptop the whole day, and I will have my phone right next to me, so you can text me, you can email me. I will be here to help. If there are technical difficulties, like if Wi-Fi goes out, you lose power, IReady is down, the district just is a hot mess, kind of like we had on Friday where Clever and all the websites weren't working. If that happens, I will be in contact with everybody. If you lose Wi-Fi, let me know. It's totally fine. If you lose it in the morning, but you get it back in the afternoon, we'll add your child to an afternoon testing session, or they can come on for an extra testing session at a different part of the day. We'll make it work. We'll be very, 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 very flexible. Whatever is best for your child is what we will do. So nothing is set in stone. If something happens, like your child gets sick and they don't feel well, please do not make your child test when they are sick. Even if they aren't able to finish their diagnostic by Friday, I will email the testing coordinators and let them know, because that is not fair to make a child test while they are sick. So definitely let me know right away so that I can figure out a plan B. Alrighty. It should be an interesting week. Hopefully it'll go smoothly. And I will also each day be posting an announcement with some brain break videos, some PE videos, so some fun things, some how to draw videos, just some things that your child can do just to rest their brain from testing. All right, you know how to reach me, so feel free to contact me whenever you need to. All right, hopefully it's a good week. Here we go.